Hello and welcome to Single Player. I'm your host, Alan Nugent, and today we're going to talk about a game really similar to Gears of War called Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines. Should you buy it? Let's find out. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines is a third-person shooter, really similar to Gears of War.
You already said that.
Why do you always have to tell me how to drive?
No, I don't.
Can I do my show?
Fine.
Thanks. Based on the tabletop game, which some of you may have seen, and that may throw some of you off because, well, it's super nerdy, but it really shouldn't. This game is similar to Gears of War in the linear story mode, the control layout, and all that stuff is really similar. However, this game involves a lot more strategy. You really have to commit more to learning all the moves and things like that.
The guns of the game are actually standard fare. You have your shotgun, sniper rifle types, things like that. Of course, they look different, but they perform the functions overall pretty well. Luckily, the combat isn't just shooting in this game. One very important key to survival is actually learning how to use the melee weapon, which comes with its own little combo system. Nothing spectacular, but it definitely works. You start out with a knife, and you get swords and axes and things like that later. Now, as you go through the game and you slaughter your enemies, don't forget to occasionally perform executions. Now, I know you've seen these before, but in this game, executions aren't just gruesome fun to look at. They actually refill your health. You do continue to take damage while you do them, however, so if you're in a situation where your health is low and you're surrounded by enemies, just doing an execution in the middle of everything is not going to be helpful for you. The story of the campaign is, well, linear. You drop in, you slaughter everything until you get to your next objective. There's nothing really out of the ordinary there. Luckily, your trip through actually looks and sounds well. The graphics in this game are good. There isn't anything I could really find to complain about it. The audio is good as well. The mood is really set well by the music and the tone of everything. The visuals actually match the tone that they've set. Even the voice acting is actually pretty decent. The thing about this game is nothing is awe-inspiring. Everything is average, but it's just a little bit above average. So it's better than most games.
So the single-player version of this game is actually really good. Multiplayer, on the other hand, is kind of where the Cinderella story comes in here, but it's not the part of the Cinderella story that you know. It's that early stages of her life, just after her dad died, and the sisters and mother-in-law are just hating on her, and she's just not happy.
The avatar customization is the one bright shining star in this just steaming pile of multiplayer crap. It actually offers plenty of options, and there are other game makers out there that really should take a look at how this is done. And yes, I am looking at you, Call of Duty and Battlefield. Unfortunately, it doesn't open up until you reach level 4. Even then, the weapons and perks really are well balanced. The options when you first start out are such crap that if you don't stick with your teammates, then you're gonna die. At level 4, you just get to look better doing it. If you started out against other players of your level, that would be fine, but you don't. They do try to compensate for this by letting you copy other people's loadouts when they kill you, but unless you're getting killed by the same guy every time, then you're just swapping out weapons and you can't get in any type of group. I usually don't do this, but I actually recommend not starting out with the team deathmatch game type. Instead, use the other multiplayer variant, which is the domination type, where you capture the stations and around the map and hold them to get points. If you want to get kills, then actually choose the big bolter type gun thingy and just post up somewhere and where you can just like look over the bases, and when the enemies try to take it, you just rain down bolter fire like you're some sort of psychotic sniper. Alternatively, if you want to use a faster type, you can focus on taking bases. It does give you a good number of experience points. Those are the only two things I could find that actually work for me. As you progress, new perks and weapons are unlocked not just by reaching new levels, but also by achieving certain goals. When does it start to get better? I won't be able to tell you that.
Because I really hate this game. Oh,
Lollipop.
you.
Lollipop. Lollipop.
While the gameplay itself is great, I couldn't help but get the feeling I was working for some sort of future Nazi government thing. It's just walking through a building, there's dead bodies everywhere, and the computer's coming over the speakers saying, workstations are at 100% abandonment. Transgressors will receive severe remedial training. And I know it's a game, but if there's characterization like that, I have to be able to kind of relate to it. Otherwise, I just don't enjoy the game. Multiplayer for me was just a tragedy. I don't think anyone's going to enjoy much of anything about the multiplayer. Good luck finding people out there. I bought this game on day one and played it day one. By the time I got out there was already people who were level live, unlocked everything, and you're all going to die. And I know that sounds like whining, but losing based on power level, that belongs in the single player, not multiplayer. This game really is made well. I wanted to like it like I liked Fallout and pretty much any of those games by Bethesda, but it's made really well. It's just not made for me. However, fans of the Warhammer series in general, Gears of War fans, or people who just like third-person shooters should definitely try this game. If you don't, I really think you're going to be missing out. For those who are hardcore junkies who are like that super extra hard challenge, you should definitely pick this up, throw it on hard, and you're going to have a great time. I don't know how, but you'll have a great time.
Tell them how long you lasted on hard.
It's irrelevant.
You couldn't even beat the first level.
Thanks, and that's our very first episode. So once again, this is single player. Tune in next week, and we will review a game that's got a little bit of soul.